Buddhism is an ancient tradition with answers to life's biggest questions today. Why do we suffer? How do we relate to other beings? And how do we make the world a happier and more peaceful place for everyone? Our mission at BDK America is to help people understand Buddhism better. Are you looking to start learning about Buddhism or dig deeper? BDK America offers free books and videos for peoples of all ages and levels. Our most popular book, The Teaching of Buddha, is available to read in English and 46 other languages in physical, PDF, and audiobook formats. Visit our website for our latest publications and order your own free copy today.
Hi, how are you doing today? I hope you had a wonderful week, one filled with great learning experiences and discoveries. Today, we'll explore the topic of Buddhist social action rooted in the Bodhisattva spirit of compassion for others. Bodhisattva can mean many things in Buddhism. One main meaning refers to those human beings who seek to help others out of immense compassion for others. This compassion is a result of virtue that they have cultivated through learning and practice. So, the Bodhisattva spirit of compassion does not stem from a sense of obligation or need to be ethically correct, but rather a heartfelt, automatic, selfless response to those in need. An ultimate example of this selfless action is seen in a well-known story of the hungry tigress. The tale, as retold by Rafe Martin in a book of the same title for contemporary audiences, goes as follows. Once, long, long ago, the Buddha came to life as a noble prince named Bodhisattva in a land where the country of Nepal exists today. One day, when he was grown, he went walking in a wild forest with his two brothers. The land was dry and the leaves brittle from extreme drought. The sky seemed alight with flames. Suddenly, they saw a tigress. The brothers turned to flee, but the tigress stumbled and fell. She was starving, and her cubs were starving too. She eyed her cubs miserably, and in that dark glance, the prince sensed her long months of hunger and pain. He saw too that unless she found food soon, she might even be driven to devour her own cubs. He was moved to compassion by the extreme hardness of their lives. What, after all, is this life for? He thought. Stepping forward, he calmly removed his outer garments and lay down before her. He tore his skin with a stone and let the starving tigress smell the blood. Bodhisattva's brothers fled. Hungrily, the tigress devoured the prince's body and chewed the bones. She and her cubs lived on, and for many years, the forest was filled with a golden light. Centuries later, a mighty king raised a pillar of carved stone on this spot, and the pilgrims still go there to make offerings even today. Deeds of compassion live forever. The story is, of course, an extreme and dramatic example of selfless compassion, and sacrificing oneself as the prince did may even strike some people today as being bizarre. In telling this story, of course, no one is being encouraged to sacrifice himself or herself in the same way. Rather, its aim is to convey the importance of compassionate caring for others in need. That is the Bodhisattva spirit. Today, we're happy to have John Watts back as our guest. John is an active member of the International Network of Engaged Buddhists, an organization that is dedicated to establishing a more compassionate society and, in my view, motivated by the Bodhisattva spirit. John has also written extensively on the topic of Buddhist participation in the world, commonly referred to as engaged Buddhism. Well, welcome back to our show, John.
Thanks, Ken. Good to be back.
Today, our topic is Bodhisattva spirit. Is there anyone in your life who exemplifies that spirit?
Well, there are actually quite a number of people, but for today's program, I'd like to choose Joanna Macy.
Joanna Macy, yes, she's well known, and I've met her too. How did you come to meet her?
Well, I met her about 5 years ago in Berkeley, California, through an event sponsored by the Buddhist Peace Fellowship. And since then, I've been kept in contact with her through my group and my work called Think Sangha.
I see.
But actually, I first encountered her and her work through her books about 15 years ago, and that had a big effect on me in the beginning of my work in Engaged Buddhism.
I see. Now, how do you think Joanna Macy exemplifies that Bodhisattva spirit?
Well, I really appreciate her work because she has this wonderful balance of the two Buddhist virtues of wisdom and compassion. On the wisdom side, she spent a number of years in the 60s and 70s in India studying Sanskrit and Buddhism. And she produced a book called Mutual Causality in Buddhism and General Systems Theory. In this book, she talks about causality, which is how the universe systematically works. And she compares the Buddhist view of this, the view of other religions, and the view of science.
I see.
And this book is really a stunning piece of scholarship, but actually I find it much more important for what it means for our daily lives.
I see. So what does she say in that book?
Well, she says in short that the universe is a web of life in which ethical action is actually systematically embedded.
Embedded. Okay. What does that mean, embedded?
Well, what it means is usually we make organizational systems and we don't think about the emotive and human emotive inputs into it. But that actually when we act ethically, that this is a positive input into any system that makes a system work more efficiently.
And it leaves an imprint.
Yes, it leaves an imprint.
I see, I see. Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt you. You were saying...
Well, so this is the basic gist of the book. I mean, it's quite complex, but it's had a lot of impact on people I know, specifically a friend in our group who's a consultant for the British government.
I see.
And he is trying to use the ideas in this book to see how government policy can be better developed and implemented.
I see. So what else does she advocate to improve the world?
Well, that was the wisdom side of her, and she's probably better known for her compassion work,
that's right.
which is, I think it's very important for our country. Since the latter days of the Cold War, she started developing what are called despair and empowerment workshops. And she developed these at that time for all of us who were living with sort of the repressed fear and anxiety of a society like ours that was on the brink of nuclear holocaust.
Right, right.
So using a deeply Buddhist model, she teaches us not to run from our repressed fears or to anesthetize these fears.
I see, I see. So besides not running from our fears, what does she propose?
Well, what she proposes is based a lot on the book that I was telling you from before, which is to see not to see fear or despair as a problem or problematize it, but to see it as a resource. It's actually just trapped energy. And it's energy that if we go into and transform and harness, it actually gives forth a tremendous amount of positive energy, a compassionate energy and an energy to be active and engaged in the world. So basically she's developed a model for Bodhisattva training. And I think today in our country with so much fear and despair and anxiety being churned up in our lives, that this is very important work.
I see. So how about yourself personally? What motivates you to be involved in Engaged Buddhism?
Well, I think I first got interested when I was in university and I came along the writings of Gandhi. And I remember clearly him talking about the path of karma yoga, which is spirituality and finding one's spiritual salvation through working in the world and aiding others and helping others. And he said this path was a higher path than just doing religious rituals or studying holy scriptures. And that really struck a chord with me at a young age.
And how is that youthful inspiration playing out in your life today?
Well, after college, I got serious about becoming a Buddhist, and I started doing meditation practice and through those experiences, I had glimpses of this lack of break between self and others, that we're actually really deeply interconnected
and one.
And when you have that realization, then you know that you really want to work for others in your life. And as the Buddha said, to help others is to help oneself, and to help oneself is to help others.
So finally, can you tell me a little bit more about your work with the INEB, the International Network of Engaged Buddhists?
Well, INEB is basically a non-sectarian, ecumenical network that includes even people who aren't Buddhists.
I see.
And it's a network of people who are supporting each other in Bodhisattva work. Specifically, we do a lot of work in trying to train people at the local level in conflict resolution, gender awareness, environmental action, on using a specifically Buddhist understanding and approach to this kind of work.
I see. Very good. Well, thank you for coming in to share your experiences with us about a topic that's not talked about very much, as it should.
Thank you.
Thank
Ken.
you. Well, I hope that the discussion with John Watts has given you a better understanding of the Bodhisattva spirit in action, and has inspired you to do what you can do to carry it out in your lives. Again, you are not being asked to sacrifice your body like the prince in the Hungry Tiger's parable, but to be mindful of the Bodhisattva spirit of sharing out of a deep understanding of the oneness and interconnectedness of all life. I'd like to close with today's passage uttered by that Bodhisattva prince. Now, I wish to realize enlightenment for the sake of all beings in the world of the Dharma. With an unwavering mind of great compassion, I am determined to throw off the body which people cling to. Next week, we'll address the topic of Buddhism and science. We look forward to seeing you then.
We at Bukkyo Dendo Kyokai pursue peace and happiness for people around the world. We have published the Buddhist teachings into 41 languages and donated our publication to hotels and other facilities in 55 countries. We would like to share the Buddhist teachings with people around the world. That's our mission. Visit our website for more information.